Welcome, modern day mystics, fellow truth seekers, James and Justin, back again with another Islam reaction video. This time we're going to take a look at One Islam Productions video on the 5 pillars of Islam, and we're going to go a little bit deeper into the faith.
Let's get going.
The 5 pillars are the core beliefs and practices of Islam. The 5 pillars of Islam are the framework of a Muslim's life. They are the testimony of faith, prayer, giving Zakat, support of the needy, fasting during Ramadan, and the pilgrimage to Mecca, at least once in their lifetime for those who are able. 1. Profession of faith, Shahada. The belief that there is no God but God, and Muhammad is the messenger of God, is central to Islam. The testimony of faith is saying with conviction,
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله. There is no one worthy of worship but Allah, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the messenger of Allah.
The first.
It just makes me think right off the bat, how do you measure sincerity? That was just kind of coming to, you know, and not you even being worried about what anyone else thinks. How do you personally measure sincerity, right? Because in a lot of spiritual beliefs, I know in Christianity it's a thing. I'm sure it's probably the same with Judaism or Hinduism, whatever faith you belong to. There's some allegiance to the faith. So how do you measure that sincerity? How do you know that either you believe strongly enough, or what if you're?
I've always been sort of confused by that. Like,
yeah,
how do you know you're praying hard enough? How do you know that because when I was a kid, sometimes you'd get in trouble, and we grew up in a religious culture, and sometimes there's this sense that if somebody was like disciplining you or trying to put the fear of God in you, they wanted to see you demonstrate that you really were sorry and you were afraid.
Yeah.
And you'd almost have to conjure a kind of guilt or something like that,
Like rile yourself up a bit.
Yeah, and I've seen parents before disturbed at their kids' indifference of things. They'd be like, "What are you, some kind of a monster? Why aren't you more... You should be more horrified by your behavior." And you see the kid like... and back in the 90s, you could still discipline with physicality. And so, you might have somebody conjuring feelings of like, "I'm sorry," Nowadays, it'd be like, it's abuse. You can't get your kid to beg you.
Yeah.
I don't know how other cultures are, but like white bread culture in America in 2023, it's probably like abuse to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's a good question.
Yeah.
What is authentic sincerity? You gotta
What does it look like something? Can it be measured?
And then having kids of my own, what I kind of find is that everybody's got different degrees of it. Some kids, it takes very little for them to like show that they're sort of look guilty, like authentically guilty about what they've done. And other kids, it's like they don't seem as inclined towards guilt about their actions.
Yeah.
It's like, you give me a reason why I can't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's with that? That might just boil down to, differences in people.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why that Bible verse says, raise a child in the way they should go.
Yeah.
And they won't depart from it when they grow up. But there's all kinds of debate on that verse too.
But anyway, just asking.
This part, there is no true God but God, means that none has the right to be worshipped but God alone, and that God has neither a partner nor son. This testimony of faith is called the Shahada, a simple formula that should be said with conviction to convert to Islam. The testimony of faith is the most important pillar of Islam. 2. Prayer, Salah. Muslims pray facing Mecca 5 times a day, at dawn, noon, mid-afternoon, sunset, and after dark. Prayer includes a recitation of the opening chapter of the Quran and is sometimes performed on a small rug or mat used expressly for this purpose. Muslims can pray individually at any location or together in a mosque, where a leader in prayer guides the congregation. In prayer, a person feels inner happiness, peace, and comfort, in that God is pleased with him or her. The Prophet Muhammad.
in prayer a person feels peace or happiness.
Yeah. Is that
Did
something?
I miss something? They just said that as if that's a given.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't where my mind went. That's a good point that what you're bringing up. Is that something that you should be feeling every time that you enter into a time of prayer is peace and happiness?
Yeah,
what's wrong if you're not?
I'm feeling very disconnected from God today. In my prayer, I didn't feel connected to God. Really? How much sleep did you get last night?
Yeah.
Oh, not very much. Maybe you're just a little tired.
Yeah.
And you'd not have the same brain chemistry as you did the last time.
Well, I was wondering, and I think this is a fair question. Does it sometimes get like redundant? If you had to do something like that 5 times a day, every day for the rest of your life, like, do you ever have a time when you're like, okay, got it in, I'm done, like, because sometimes it feels like maybe your heart's not into it, right?
Yeah. Imagine seeing someone quickly doing their like sweating, like trying to get all their vows
but
in.
like I can remember sometimes when I used to go to church, I felt like I had to do it. It was like I don't want to go today, man. I don't want to go, but like I have to.
That's all things I can empathize and understand as somebody in an honest pursuit of God, and then sometimes they're feeling it, sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
The thing that really disturbs me is the idea of somebody that's like wearing the priest's robes that doesn't do shit when no one's looking. Like it's all a big game to them. Oh. That's like, I wish there was just some way you could scan someone and see whether or not that's what's going on,
Yeah. Especially if they're getting all the funds.
Yeah, you're real conscientious. You're really on top of everything, Yeah. How much turmoil is your soul going through? Are you really suffering?
Yeah.
And then it becomes a game of people seeing who can look the most distraught before the Lord.
Yeah.
And that can be fake too.
Yeah. Just a question.
It said, Bilal, call the people to prayer. Let us be comforted by it. Bilal was one of Muhammad's companions who was in charge of calling the people to prayers. Men gather in the mosque for the noonday prayer on Friday. Women are welcome but not obliged to participate. After the prayer, a sermon focuses on a passage from the Quran, followed by prayers by the imam and a discussion of a particular religious topic. 3.
Does it ever get gassy in there?
Oh God, jeez.
No, like for real question. Are we allowed to ask what happens when everybody ate the same ate at the same potluck meal before and then everybody's bending over? Does it ever get gassy?
Jeez.
Somebody
I'm sure there's probably it's
somebody brave out there be like, "Oh yeah. I've been there before when it was if you lit a match."
Oh God. Yeah. I was actually thrown off by, why is it that there's such a focus on the men, having to do it so religiously, but the women, it was like, they could do it if they want to, kind of.
I don't know. Thrown off maybe I was a little thrown off too, and honestly, watch how shameful this remark's going to be. I was like, maybe it's because it would be a little distracting.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? You're like, there's 50 guys bowing down, and you get the woman in front of you or something.
Yeah.
Some young guy unmarried, and you're staring into a woman's butt bending over in front of you. Maybe that might get a little awkward.
Yeah.
And just to keep it real, awkward things happen in the church when we were growing up. I remember somebody was sitting beside me in church one time, and they were really hungry, and their stomach growls were so loud. It was like, let's have silent prayer.
You gotta be able to laugh at this stuff, man. Come on.
Yes,
that would be something that would be
God made our biology.
That would be something I hope if there was a stand-up comedian in Islam that could joke. They could everyone could joke about that.
It's a good bit.
Yeah, that is a good bit.
Oh yeah, it was like silent prayer, and his stomach was like, "Whoa," and he was like, "I don't."
All right, let's keep going.
Alms, Zakat. In accordance with Islamic law, Muslims donate a fixed portion of their income to community members in need. Many rulers and wealthy Muslims built mosques, drinking fountains, hospitals, schools, and other institutions as a religious duty and to secure the blessings associated with the charity. All things belong to God, and wealth is therefore held by human beings in trust. The original meaning of the word zakat is both purification and growth. Giving zakat means giving a specified percentage on certain properties to certain classes of needy people. The percentage due on gold, silver, and cash funds that have reached the amount of about 85 grams of gold and held in possession for 1 lunar year is 2.5%. Our possessions are purified by setting aside a small portion for those in need. And like the pruning of plants, this cutting back balances and encourages new growth. 4.
First, just before we get to the next one, I know we've kidded a lot in some of the points prior to this, but I think it's really good if that's a thing that's under control, that people are donating their finances to actual things that are needed in the community.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
And I get the sense that in Islam, they do a good job of keeping that stuff accountable.
Yes.
Probably, I just get that impression that you guys are good with your money.
I've said it before, man. Like, my impression of a lot of Muslim men that I've seen is that they're serious individuals. They don't mess around.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
That's the impression I get. I don't know. Maybe that's inappropriate for me to say.
Or are you allowed to are you allowed to bring up I don't know if you get the sense, because I've gotten the sense in some types of these goodwill institutions that the money ain't always going to the best places, right? I just get
how do you know ever, right? Really, right? But
yeah.
Fasting. Psalm. During the daylight hours of Ramadan, the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, all healthy adult Muslims are required to abstain from food and drink. Through this temporary deprivation, they renew their awareness of and gratitude for everything God has provided, including the Quran, which was first revealed during this month. During Ramadan, they share the hunger and thirst of the needy as a reminder of the religious duty to help those less fortunate.
That's hardcore. How many people participate in Ramadan?
Yeah,
all of them.
Everyone in their faith.
That's hardcore. My hat off to you.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I was gonna say, I think universally that would be so good for all of us to take a month and not eat so much, and just so we could know what it's like to not eat so much, and be able to relate to those.
Andrew Tate's a new Muslim, right?
I don't know. No, I don't think he's new.
I thought he said he's a Muslim now.
I think he is a Muslim, but apparently he's not new. We talked about it in a video, and someone was like, he's been a Muslim for a while.
Does he do that? Does he not eat for whatever?
I don't know. But it's good practice, man. And do all the atheists get around and have we're not going to eat month, so we can all, feel the pain of those, those who are suffering.
I doubt it. There's probably some people that fast for scientific reasons.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Probably people that donate for scientific reasons.
I'm not trying to pick on atheists. I'm just trying to say that's one of the good things about being a part of a tight-knit group like this and having it as one of the 5 staples of your life, is that you're going to do this every year and you will remember
and be held accountable to do it. It would encourage you to do it, knowing all your brothers and sisters and everything are kind of suffering along with you, or not suffering. I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting.
I can't hear
5. The pilgrimage to Mecca. The annual pilgrimage, Hajj, to Mecca is an obligation once in a lifetime for those who are physically and financially able to perform it. About 2 million people go to Mecca each year from every corner of the globe. Although Mecca is always filled with visitors, the annual Hajj is performed in the 12th month of the Islamic calendar. Male pilgrims wear special simple clothes which strip away any distinctions of class and culture so that they stand equal before God. The rites of the Hajj include circling the Kaaba 7 times and going 7 times between the hillocks of Safa and Marwa, as Hagar did during her search for water. Then the pilgrims stand together in Arafah and ask God for what they wish. And
is that the same Hagar from the Bible? There's a book of Hagar in the Bible.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure.
A little overlap there, folks.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got this in my mind, but might seem like a weird question to everybody. Is that pilgrimage where they walk around in circles around what is it called?
I forget the name of it. But yeah.
The cube?
Yeah.
Is that an Islam? Is there any other religion that does that? Or something similar to it?
I don't know if anything's like that. Out of all of the 5 pillars, though, to me, I was like, ooh, this one sounds like the most fun. This one sounds like, if there was one that was going to be fun, this one kind of stuck out to me. Because you get to, travel, see a bit of the world, and you would probably think about all the people you'd meet. It'd be kind of a really, and there would be like an awe-inspiring thing that would come from it.
Us Christians do silly things. Like at Christmas time, sometimes we do like the walk to Bethlehem. I wonder if if like Muslim people have like the walk to Mecca.
Like play. Jeez, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some Christmas play. Or something.
Apparently, not everyone has to do it though, because they said that only if you can do it. If you got the money to do it, you do it, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's good. You know.
Yeah. There might be benefactors out there who help people pay to go there. Yeah. It's their dream to go do it in their life, and they're like, "I'll give you a hand."
Yeah.
I bet that happens.
All right. Well, let's wrap this one up.
And for his forgiveness, in what is often thought of as a preview of the Day of Judgment. The end of the Hajj is marked by a festival, Eid al-Adha, which is celebrated with prayers. This and Eid al-Fitr, a feast day commemorating the end of Ramadan, are the 2 annual festivals of the Muslim calendar.
Well, there you go. I feel like we learned a little bit more there.
I hope it sticks. I hope, I couldn't even remember terms by the end of the video that were stated at the beginning.
I don't know. Yeah, I forget the term, the name, but I know what the things are. Like, prayer. You gotta go.
We'll keep exposing ourselves to more of this stuff, and it'll eventually stick.
Yeah, eventually just saturate right in. But great video there. Hopefully you guys liked our reaction. If you did, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everyone until next time.
Stay spiritual.